Ida devastated the city of Houma, Louisiana. Some residents there are without water and shelter. Mireya Villarreal spoke with some survivors.
The strong winds and the rain from Hurricane Ida tore this place apart. I mean, that's the roof right over there. But if you can believe it, the owner is still living inside. Here's the thing. There is a shelter here in Houma, but a lot of people are telling me they are concerned with the rising number of COVID cases in this state. So they don't want to be confined into that shelter where there is no air conditioning and no running water or working bathrooms. Hurricane Ida is long gone, leaving behind a trail of destruction and heartache in Houma.
It sounded like a freight train was coming through, and everything just started flying. You know, the house started vibrating.
70-year-old Theophilus Charles rode out the Cat 4 storm inside his childhood home, watching as it was ripped apart.
And that's the first time I ever got scared about being in that house. I was going to stay alive one way or the other. If I had to turn the sofa over on top of me, oh, I was going to survive this.
Trying to protect what little he has left, Charles watches his home from across the street during the day. You're still living in here?
Yeah.
But at night, he sleeps here. His roof is gone, the kitchen destroyed, and there's no running water.
I got to stay here for now, just to make sure. Because I don't want nobody coming in here.
Many of the 32,000 people here are like Theophilus Charles, living without power or clean running water, making distributions like this essential to surviving.
Our supplies are running low on water and there's no stores open. And if you have to go to the store, you have to drive at least an hour away.
Stay strong. We'll make it.
After living in this trailer for 21 years, Ida left Frank Marshall with nothing.
That's what scared me, you know. No family.
Reality settling in as the sweltering heat returns. Do you have anything left?
I got some clothes left. Refrigerator, stove, all that's gone. It's too much for me to fix by myself.
To add insult to injury, a lot of homeowners are telling me they do not have insurance, so they have to rely on FEMA. Temporary help means they might stay inside a shelter, maybe an apartment or a hotel, but long-term, repairing something like this could take months, if not longer. Elaine?
All right, Mireya Villarreal, thank you. For more, let's bring in Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy. Senator Cassidy, welcome. You have toured some of the hardest hit areas, and in addition to being a senator, you're also a physician. What are your biggest concerns for storm survivors in the week ahead, and what do people in Louisiana need the most right now?
They need electricity. We have 1 million people without electricity. All of Orleans, Jefferson Parish, St. Bernard, and Plaquemine. Imagine you are a patient who relies upon home oxygen and you've got a generator, but you can't get gasoline for your generator because the gas station doesn't have electricity to pump the gas. So we need to have electricity restored. There's also the places that have flooded down in the Fouche, Terrebonne Parish, St. John's, and others. Obviously, your home's flooded, you need a place to stay. So the focal points, if you will, the areas with wind and flood damage, but also the areas in which electricity has been knocked out.
Well, officials are estimating many residents will not have electricity for several weeks. We've seen video of long lines at gas stations. Supermarkets are closed. Temperatures are in the 90s, as you know. The heat index is making it feel like it's over 100 degrees. What should people do if they don't have power?
So I spoke to one of the parish presidents Guy McGinnis down in St. Bernard, and they've set up a room where people can come during the day when it's hottest, and they can, if they have oxygen or such like that, they're over on one side, but socially distanced, they can be there in a cool place. So I spoke to another person about a hospital which has had some generator problems. They're getting that back online. So local officials, state and FEMA, are making allowances, but there's no substitute for having power back. Local officials are asking people who've evacuated to not return yet until those services are returned. What can you say? Trying to make the best of a really bad situation.
I'm going to ask you more about the power grid in just a moment, but I know you've talked about this and you tweeted earlier that, quote, it has been over a year since Hurricane Laura, but there are still blue tarps on roofs in Southwest Louisiana and families in desperate need of supplemental assistance. Senator Cassidy, what are you seeking from your colleagues on Capitol Hill in terms of relief?
What that refers to is the aftermath of Hurricanes Laura and Delta in Southwest Louisiana a year ago. There's been a lot of help, but there's not yet been passage of a community block grant, disaster relief bill that can kind of help bring that community back to wholeness. Lake Charles was a fantastic, vibrant community before those two hurricanes. It still has not recovered a year later. So that's part of what normally the federal government does to help a community completely rebuild. I'm trying to make sure people in Southwest Louisiana know we've not forgotten, but I'm also establishing that we certainly can't wait for a year for the areas like Terrebonne, Lafourche, St. Charles, St. John's, et cetera, to recover from this disaster. That's not just how Americans help fellow Americans. By the way, the disaster assistance for those in Southwest Louisiana is kind of the same package for those who have been so devastated by forest fires out in the West. So again, it's not just my state, it's other states as well seeking that assistance so they can return back to back to a normal life.
And on this disaster, what do you make of the federal government's and President Biden's response to Hurricane Ida?
They've been incredibly responsive. And when I spoke to a parish president today, he said, listen, I've not yet heard from FEMA. I contacted Cedric Richmond, who is the administration's point on this. Cedric's going to be on top of it, make sure that people are getting there. And by the way, the parish officials admitted there was a snafu, but nonetheless, we wanted to correct it. And there was just a far leaning of the federal officials. So I will give them credit. They have pre-positioned assets. They're working closely with state and local officials to try to make the best of a terrible situation for many.
So, Senator, as we mentioned, you're also a physician. Coronavirus cases in Louisiana are at the highest level they've been since the start of the pandemic. Why are cases spiking there, and are you concerned they'll continue to rise, especially after the storm?
Well, why they're spiking is no accident. We have a low vaccination rate. If people were vaccinated, we'd have a lower infection rate. Just kind of, that's reality as much as people don't want to talk about it, don't want to accept it. I will say that the relief organizations in our congressional briefing calls have stressed that the evacuation centers will have socially distanced between pods, a family here and a family there, good ventilation. They'll ask people to wear a mask, but if you don't have one, still come. And if you wish, not required, but if you wish, they'll vaccinate. All of that is good. But at baseline, going into the storm, we had ICUs full because of COVID patients, and 99+% of those were not vaccinated. So we just need to have a greater uptake of vaccine.
And on that point, on Sunday, you told my CBSN colleague, Lana Zach, that your understanding was that COVID vaccines were going to be made available at some storm shelters. Do you have any more information on that, Senator? Are shots being administered? And if so, do you have any sense of how many and in what communities?
I don't. It was just on the congressional briefing. They said that these would be offered. And where these storm shelters are being set up, one's in Alexandria, Louisiana, for those with special needs, but they're also being set up kind of as we speak. I spoke to the parish president of Lafourche Parish, Archie Chasson, and he was telling me that as people return to their home, they just find they're not livable, and they want to stay in their community, but they need a place to stay. And so reached out to Red Cross, and they're going to work with him to establish a shelter. So they're kind of coming up as they are needed, but I presume the same protocols will be used in each shelter.
And very quickly, Senator, the levees held in New Orleans, the power grid we've seen has had major issues. How much focus do you think needs to be on shoring up that infrastructure? Because I know that's something that you've talked about, infrastructure with respect to restoring Louisiana's coastline. But given the situation now, how much focus do you think needs to be on that power grid?
These levees held this hurricane because 16 years ago, George W. Bush committed to building levees that would hold. We need to make the same commitment to the power grid, not just in Louisiana, but power grid associated with ice storms in the north, for example. The infrastructure bill that's passed the Senate on a bipartisan basis is now before the House. It has billions to harden the grid. By the way, it also has billions for flood mitigation and billions for coastal restoration in areas recently hit by natural disasters. So not just for my state, for our nation, we need to build resiliency so that when natural disasters occur 10 years from now, we've made the preparations so that it mitigates that harm. We don't want to keep repeating the lessons we should have learned in the past. This infrastructure bill is part of finding solutions.
Senator Bill Cassidy, our thoughts are certainly with the people of Louisiana. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.